Hello, it's Connor here for day 97 or 98 of meditation, and today we have a lot to talk about. A massive emphasis or a new realization in presence, and I refer to it as the eternal movement. So essentially the eternal movement is that everything is flowing as one, which we've mentioned before, and we're part of that flow, but it's about recognizing the finite or the infinite domain to the presence. We've thought we've discovered presence before, but it's kind of undiscoverable, or it can be discovered, but it's kind of, you can think of a second, you can halve that second, you can halve that half a second, and you can continue to numb it down, and it becomes eternal and infinite space and time, which you can never actually comprehend or depict. And it's in this eternal nature which forms the eternal movement. The eternal movement being the flow of everything, the flow of the universe as a whole, all flowing as one with the moment, but like the infinitely precise moment that everything just moves and flows along. And coming into accordance with this, it's very much just flowing with everything. And it's like everything is continually moving in this moment, and this moment is the only thing, a moment that can't really be defined, and this moment is the only thing that exists, and it is always flowing, and it's about coming into accordance with this flow. So just as the sun rotates, just as the birds fly, just as everything moves in the moment that we're in, it is about finding your foundation in the sense that it is all an eternal movement. It's all just an eternal movement. Everything, the whole universe, all of nature, everything that we know, it moves on this infinite moment, and it just continually moves. And this is where they say past and future don't exist. This is where you understand no self, and self being depicted by past and future events which are no longer there, self being a collective of experiences and portrayals and views and depictions of self and what we aspire to be. And through this clinging to all these different parts, we create a self-image. And this self-image is a facade in the sense that it is created out of an illusionary space. So this self-image is here. Say you've got all this stuff, you depict it to this self-image. Say you're portrayed in a certain way, you're depicting to this self-image. Say you want something, or you believe yourself to be something, you're depicting to this self-image. And it makes us forget what we already are. The attachment to, or the portrayal of something is not you, in the sense that trying to accept yourself is needing something that is not already there. Judging yourself or striving for something is needing something that is not already there. What is already there is that universal flow, that universal presence, the flow of everything, and it is the constant, the moment and the things that experience those moments, the thing that sees the moment. No self essentially being founded on no particular portrayal of self. Rather, the self is part of the flow of everything. You can't determine a self here. You can't determine a self here. You determine a self by a collective of the beliefs based off moments you are not currently in. This portrayal of self we are always trying to create. We are always trying to figure it out, find it, create it, whereas it's with us the whole time. The essence to what you are is the essence to what you are, and it is always there, and it is always flowing with everything else. And it is coming into this eternal flow, the eternal movement, and coming into acceptance of this eternal flow, of the emotions which produce themselves, of the thoughts which come across, of the things that happen. It is coming into acceptance, it's not like you come into acceptance and something terrible happens and you're not allowed to feel bad about it. It's coming into acceptance that this eternal flow has an unfolding nature, and it is ever moving, ever changing. We are to flow with it. We are to feel emotions. We're not to reject it, deny it, shove it back in its box. It's to flow and understand it as this is the eternal flow that we're always flowing with. And it is to come into acceptance of this flow of nature and everything involved with it, the eternal flow, the eternal movement. That is what it means to come into alignment with, I guess, the nature of the universe, in a sense. Or then not even the nature of the universe, just the nature of like whatever this is. It's to like align yourself with the nature of reality. I described what we felt after looking into or meditating on the eternal flow, or even just realizing it, was that you start to notice even the floor under your feet as you're walking, because it is so present, it is so blissful. Not blissful, but it's so present that you're kind of flowing with everything else. Like everything else, I'm talking everything. Everything is flowing, and you walk out the door and you just flow, and you experience that flowing nature. You experience the only thing there is to experience, the nature of the reality that we're in. And obviously too, you can experience past and future and all sorts of stuff, but it's experienced in this eternal flow. It's experienced in the moment you're in, and it's the thoughts which produce those feelings and the emotions and the continuous train of thoughts that follow. It's all produced in this eternal now. So whether we wish to or whether we wish to not, we are always in this eternal flow. And it always is in this infinite point in time that is flowing. Everything is flowing. This hand is flowing. That is the flow of all of the universe. And you can see everything. You can see the grass blow in the wind. You can see trucks going by. You can see anything. Thoughts and people, planets spinning, all sorts of stuff. Everything is just in this one constant movement. This helps us realize the foundation of no self, being that we are a part of the flow of the universe. And it allows us to realize that clinging is a big downfall and suffering to oneself, in the sense that when we cling, we are not in alignment, and we cling to build a false facade which overlooks what is already there. So we can cling to an outcome of an event, whether that is a social event, socializing with people, whether that is an assignment, business, whether that is getting to do what you want to do in the afternoon. And when we cling to these things, we're not flowing with the accordance of nature, the accordance of life. We are determining things which aren't already there. And then we're clinging to the outcome of those things. And a lot of those outcomes can put emphasis more on the self. If you want to play games in the afternoon, you can say, I want to play games. And then we get there and it's like, and you don't get to apparently. And then suddenly you're a bit upset. If you cling to the outcome of a social situation and you perceive yourself to perform poorly, well, one, the expectation's going to amp you up and you're not flowing beforehand, then in the moment you're not flowing with it because of expectancies again, and then afterwards you're looking back and all of this clinging to this outcome, or this clinging of needing to be this perceived self, is just stirring, and it's about coming into alignment with this pinnacle moment and just flowing with it. It's quite profound. And essentially they say the more we relinquish clinging in our life, that includes clinging to self, that includes clinging to the self-image that we behold, this illusion we create of the self that is ever changing, ever moving, and always being created, therefore never fulfilled. It is clinging to this as well that stirs our image of reality. It creates from a necessity of needing things in the world rather than just being in the world and pursuing the flow of the universe and the flow of nature itself. So when it comes to presence, it's relinquishing yourself of all the clinging to past, to future, to perceived self, to attachments, to the belongings in the world. This is why Buddhists and spiritual masters, they relinquish, they move into homelessness and just pursue the world, because there's no attachment to anything, because it is already there. It is the flow of everything which we are. It's the flowing nature of all of existence, and this continual flow, this is exactly what we are. And it is a profound realization to align yourself with this flow. And then from this flow, everything just occurs naturally and calmly, and just with an alertness to flowing and being in alignment with all things, with the oneness of movement of all things. So yeah, I find that very hard to explain, honestly, but hopefully you guys can take something away from that. Moral of the story is to flow, or understand the nature of flow, understand everything. Every decimal second, less than that, is flowing continuously, and you are a part of this flow, and you are to experience this flow. This includes the ups and downs, this includes everything. It's coming into acceptance and being with that flow that really makes it a wonderful place and an accepting place. So yeah, we'll leave that there, and yeah, we'll elaborate further when more things come up. But yeah, just crazy stuff. Be peaceful, be in acceptance, be flowing with the present, understanding the present is eternal and always flowing. Don't cling to a perceived self or things which we attach ourselves to within the world, or within ideas, within thought. Relinquish all of it and just become this flow, and flow with all of life, flow with all of existence. It's just an unfolding of the universe. So align yourself with it, and then you can do whatever you wish. Anyway, take care, people, and we'll see you for day 98 or 99, whatever it is.